The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now Jackson apparently a little unsure of things, so he'll call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Here's the first carry for Kenyon Drake. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
Terrell Edmonds on the tackle. It's a loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 24-yard line.
The loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the gun, it's Drake. I don't think anyone in the building fooled right there, as that one is going to blow up in their faces. It's a loss of 7. And now it's 3rd down.
Don't be mad. There's more where it came from.
And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long.
Slam, slam, slam. Mark 55, Mark 55. Here we go. Let's go, B, let's go. Hey, let's get it. Here we go.
Play action. Now Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long. Why are you calling play action?
Because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. The Ravens send their punter out now. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Prescott from the gun. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Jalen Ferguson. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Prescott. Washington's got it. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
So they need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down.
Get ready.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Got an open man, it's Washington. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
We hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
4th down, Prescott. Flush to his right. Prescott stripped. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. This offense converted once already in this first quarter. They're going to try it again here on 4th down. Prescott to throw on 4th. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. James Washington, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can go.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. And hopefully for both sides, not a sign of things to come, Charles. This morning, It was so perfect outside, but we knew this weather was coming, and we see the effects of it here early on.
And I wonder if how perfect it was this morning has psychologically fooled everyone. You know, it's almost like even though we were told the weather was coming, and you know the teams knew it as well, then maybe they got fooled and thought, it's going to be okay. And now they're probably a little upset that it's out there.
Because warm-ups were dry.
Oh, we're dry. Now you've got to make the change up, and it's the first quarter. It might take them a little time to settle in on their focus and concentration.
If there was one area that the coach emphasized in our pregame meeting, it was red zone offense.
In a sense, I got from it, and I think you did as well.
Got his man, it's caught for a Steelers touchdown. James Washington with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Zuerlein good with a PAT, and it's now 14-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And not a particularly good return here as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
That really sets him back. A loss of 6. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Now on 2nd and 16, Jackson. And an alley to run. He's got room to run past the 20. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
First down, Ravens.
Ready?
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
14. Ravens, nothing.
Here we go, D. Get off the field.
On first down, Swift. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Watch the twins. Watch the twins. Check. Check. Check.
On second down, Swift. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down.
Loss of a yard. And it's third down.
Come on, set. Fix the outlaw. Take left. Take left.
On third down, Swift. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
Right now, let's go. It's a party now.
Prescott now after the fumble recovery. And it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. And they are able to stop him, but he does. Let's take it all the way to the 2.
It's a gain of 27 yards. Complete to James Washington. First and goal at the 2-yard line.
Mike, here we go. Hey, defense, let's go.
Prescott to throw it toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Down this close to the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on first down in this situation because second down, that gives me that option of running play action and maybe throwing it.
Second and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line.
Here I come.
Looking to throw. Prescott. And it's intercepted at the goal line. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And nothing there on the return. They've got the football, but they'll have to start this drive at their own 4-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Now on second and 13. Jackson trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 32. And that pick just sets him up beautifully right down near the goal line.
I remember being in a defensive meeting back when I was in college, and our defensive coordinator says, we're going to call this Be Who You Are defense. D linemen, you play the run. Linebackers, be aware of anything. And secondary, you play the pass. That way, you're all set, ready for whatever they put out there.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on second and goal. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Oh, Prescott stripped, and it's picked up by the Ravens. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, give some credit to the defense. They forced the big play, knocked the ball free from him, but that's a cardinal sin by the quarterback. Know where you are on the field, and he just gave up at a minimum 3 points.
Instead of getting down, takes the contact. The turnover ensues. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
But one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Here we go. Got it. Here we go. Let's bring it. Let's go. Let's push.
Jackson fakes the give and keeps it. Jackson going to get this out to Brown. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there. That is catch number 300 now for his NFL career. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
You ain't doing nothing today. Deuce. Get it to him. Jet, cover. 22. Jet, cover. Check three. Order. Hey, check right. Watch it get by. Twist.
Jackson for the shotgun. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive.
Motion. Take four. Chin up. Let it go.
2nd and 10. Here's Jackson again. Eluding the pressure right. Now he'll pull it down. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now. We'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers of reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown, his 6th touchdown of the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half. They haven't fully climbed the mountain, but they've started the ascent here with that score.
I like that, right? I think they've left base camp now, okay? So they've started to move their way up the mountain. Long way to go, but at least they know it's manageable.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, getting the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
First down, Prescott. Complete to Washington. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Come on, baby. Let's see what you got.
Prescott now. To the right side and complete to Washington. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime.
Steelers first down. 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Here we go. 50 seconds to Mike.
In your face.
From the red zone now, Prescott. He's got Fuller. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. They'll throw again. Prescott. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. 3 touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 25.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down.
And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there as the first half is winding down, as his guys are back within a single score. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw is Prescott. He's going to launch it for Washington. He's got a man complete. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. James Washington in the final seconds of the first half. And the Steelers get the quick strike touchdown. That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive, and it seemed like they may be giving up momentum. Well, not so fast.
No, not at all, because they ended up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. So we are at halftime here on a Monday night as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Mike is 59. Mike is 54. Go to 54. Go to 54.
Prescott looks to throw on first, and his pass incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40.
36.
Throwing, Prescott. He's going to launch it for Washington. And this is caught inside the 5. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. James Washington, 60 yards. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Zerline connects on the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line.
At their own 16-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Steps away to his left. And now he's going to use his legs. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
Brings up second and 2 at the 24-yard line.
Check nickel, nickel, nickel.
To throw again on second down. Jackson escaping the pressure right. And I think the ball's out. And this is going to get out of bounds, so they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Check 3. Short. Mike 55, Mike 55. Here it comes, here it comes. Check.
Jackson now on second and 10. Flushed out right. And hauling it in, Nelson. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
Single.
Jackson on first down. He's going deep for Brown. And is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 11. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
I'm not sure, Brandon, we've seen a sloppier played game this year for a team on offense. Turn it over 4 times and expect to win? No chance whatsoever. And look, I have no idea what the ratio is about turnover 4 times and how that correlates to winning or losing. But I guarantee you, it's not very good.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, but when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and it's third and short.
Well, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away, turns into a nice play.
He completes this one to Mack. Nothing doing on that one, and it'll be 4th down.
That's what I'm talking about.
So they go pass on 3rd and 2. They complete it, but no gain. Should they have tried to run it?
I thought that running the ball in that situation is what they would have done because at worst-case scenario, you may bring up a 4th down decision for your team. Instead, now, they're not close to the first down.
And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Looking to throw again on second down. Jackson dancing to his left. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
First down, Ravens.
Push him back. Push him back.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Got him in. It's Brown. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays. Here's Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down.
Cut. Hey, check right. Watch 85. You must be getting tired of seeing
Jackson now. This will be caught by Brown. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 24-yard line. Jackson now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now it's Jackson. It's complete to Drake. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be second down.
Brings up second and goal.
A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for second and goal. Back now in Pittsburgh. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for second and goal. Running from the shotgun with Drake. And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Kenyon Drake, his second touchdown on the season. And the Ravens cut into that lead. Tucker with the extra point, and that will shave one more off this lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's second and a yard from the 34. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. James Washington was the intended target, and it's 3rd and short. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. You can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
He's got a man. It's Williams. A nice first down pickup on a gain of 6.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
So frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from him.
He's going to wind up and air it out. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And he will bring this all the way up to the 30-yard line. 2-score game here in the fourth, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked.
He's got it at the 15. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far, as his guys are back within a single score. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
The Steelers take over first and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, very close, one-score game.
Yeah, and if I'm a defender, I'm actually chirping Chili on the other side of the ball, said, hey, we picked off the last one. What you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, high percentage, but throw it with confidence. If there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again.
Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
We got to get the ball, D. Get the ball right here. Let's go.
On first and 10, Prescott. And his throw is incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on second down.
Get in the weight room.
Prescott dumps this one off to Mack. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. And again, it's Prescott. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And he'll bring it all the way back just a yard or 2 shy of midfield. So, my goodness, I wouldn't have thought this possible not too long ago, but that's... Turnover there means we have a game again.
Yeah, it's been a completely different team here in the second half. I just wonder on the other side of the field where the starters telling the backups, get ready, you're going to get some playing time. And now guess what? Hope they didn't cut the tape off of their wrists and ankles. They've got to go back out there and play.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up, whether it's on your...
And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off down at the 2. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal? End the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. Prescott to throw it. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Defensively, that's Earl Thomas, the all-pro safety, knocking it free. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Off the play fake, Prescott. He's going to launch it for Washington. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. A gain of 32 that time. What a game it's been for this duo.
They remind me of a good comedy team. They know how to play off of each other so well. No matter how one riffs, the other's right there to pick them up, and they are shredding them in this ball game.
First down, Prescott. It's complete to Fuller. 20! And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. A big play on the catch and run, covering 34 yards. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And it's caught. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 12 more yards there and another first down.
First and goal at the 1-yard line.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal as they search for what could be a game-sealing touchdown. Here's Prescott. Flush to his right. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Patrick Onwuasor.
Well, I get what he was trying to do. He was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage, but instead he shifted the coverage also to the right and threw right into it for an interception.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down. Buying time to his left. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. T.J. Watt in there to drop him as that clock continues to run. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11. He'll look to throw. Forced out to his left. And he's going to keep it here. Nowhere to go downfield, but he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock here with a first down. Late in the game, defense trying to avoid a big play. He's able to work out of the passing game, turn it into a run, pick up the first, and stop the clock as well.
And you know in this situation, everything is sped up.
Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A big play there in the final minute as they can now even this game here in the fourth quarter with the extra point. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good, and we are tied here in the fourth quarter. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, where they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They need to get this around the 40 on the other side to get into field goal range. Look at the clock, a decent amount of time here in a tie game. What do?
No panic situation at all. They've got to get a couple of chunk plays, pick up nice bits of yardage.
Target the sidelines?
Target the sidelines because you want to get out of bounds and make sure that clock stops. Because if the clock stays running, that makes things that much tougher for you. It can always bleed out on you.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
They're not ready for this. Y'all playing.
Now Jackson being chased out left. He's going to take off with it. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
Set, ready. Go. Stop the play. Stay with your man. Tighten up. Set. Mike, 55. Check, 55, Mike.
Here's Jackson. Steps away to his left. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. And now the punt team couldn't get ready in time, and this is going to be a delay. The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. In a tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk-reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Prescott now, eluding the pressure right. Oh, and you can forget overtime. This is going to be a safety in the final minute of the game. Oh, my. And I don't know that I've ever seen a tie game decided in the final seconds because of a safety.
It's just an absolute disaster, Brandon. You're thinking you're going to at least get yourself to overtime. But how about this defense? They said, we're going to take matters into our own hands, and this will be an unbelievable victory if it holds up.
So how about that comeback that we just witnessed going into the 4th quarter? I don't know that we had written them off, but it looked bleak. They were able to get it done.
They put up a barrage of points and reeling them in and running them down and winning it. Wouldn't you love to be in their locker room right now? Think about the energy that's radiating out of there right now. They're talking about belief, sticking together, and finding a way to win.
So for Baltimore, they close out this first half at a very solid 6-2. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the New York Jets. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, they fall 2 games under 500 now at 3-5. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew,